It's okay. I just wanted to mention that it is also in YouTube. So, yoga. We are getting into Bhagavad Gita chapter 5. The word Sanyasa is Sanyasi or Sanyasa means renunciation. It is a popular word, but the exact meaning of the word is not very clearly understood. That's what Krishna is explaining here today. What does it mean to renunciate, to be a renunciate? Chapter 4, Krishna had mentioned that self-knowledge alone leads to the destruction of delusion, the destruction of the sins from the current birth, and the destruction of all the consequences of the previous birth's consequences. Moha nasham, papa nasham, and karma nasham. So, and then he asked Arjuna to do your duty. Chapter 5 starts with Arjuna's question, verse 5. Arjuna asks, Krishna, you said self-knowledge alone leads to liberation, an individual. Then why do you ask me to perform duties, actions? You exemplified, you glorified the renunciation of all actions and highlighted that those who renounce actions through self-knowledge acquires no bondage. You also glorified karma yoga, which is to do your duty. Now I'm confused. Please tell me one thing categorically, which one is right for me, which one is good one. So yoga here means performing all actions, mainly one's own duties. Sanyasa is renunciation, is not performing actions, sacrificing actions. Now, let's try to understand the exact meaning of sannyasa or renunciation as is articulated by the Vedas and scriptures. What is renunciation? What do we renunciate? According to scriptures, a human life has got 4 stages, and they call it 4 lifestyles, ashrama, brahmacharya, grahasthashram, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. Brahmacharya is student life, academic, student life, family lifestyle, then retired without any responsibilities. Then renunciate could also be from home, renunciation. Now brahmacharya focus is mainly on education. Has to be only on education, serving parents and teachers. Education here means not academic, all the secular knowledge, but apart from that is morals, values, self-discipline, apart from all academic subjects. At this stage, as prescribed in scriptures, the students are not supposed to get involved in politics or business or make money. Any type of distraction could distract a student from learning. We sacrifice sleep to study, get distracted by watching a movie instead of studying. So our focus should be only on learning. That is brahmacharya's duties. Then comes family lifestyle, grahasthashrama. These individuals have different duties. Every generation is a sandwich generation. They need to take care of their parents and they need to take care of their children. It is applicable universally. So these individuals who are in family lifestyle in Grahastha ashram must earn and share with 3 ashramas. They need to take care of students and elderly at home, or even sannyasas, that is most like charities. They are prescribed, and these are prescribed 5 definite duties. We have studied that in chapter 3, verse 13, 5 yajnas. Deva yajna, Rishi yajna, Pitru yajna, Nara yajna, and Bhuta yajna. Prayer to the Almighty, reading scriptures, respect and remember the deceased. We don't want to say my dad should have done that, my mom should have done that. No, we just respect what they did with the given circumstances at that time. Then feed the hungry, educate, support others who are in whatever way we can, and take care of all the animals, plants, and rivers. That is, live harmony with nature. Once the children are adults, we hand over responsibilities to the children, and then the individual goes from family grahasthashram to vanaprastha. In vanaprastha is a retired life, not leaving home, but not assuming too many responsibilities. At this stage, duty is to prayer, meditation, studying scriptures, chanting, clarifying doubts, and purifying mind. There is no need to micromanage. There is no need to do backseat driving. They are adults, they can handle it. Then comes to the fourth one is Sanyasa ashrama. These also, they also have specific duties. These more secluded lifestyles. They focus on scriptures, ascetic, self-controlled, restrained, dispassionate. Dispassionate should not be misunderstood with a dispassion. With depression. Depressed is different. Dispassion is there is no craving. They acquire self-knowledge, be firm with the conviction and in the acquired knowledge, and leave the body happily. Vedas also allow a person to move from stage 1 to stage 4, that is brahmacharya to directly to sannyasa. And that one has got two paths. One is 1 to 4, another one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So either way, a human being has a right to choose whichever path one wants to, depending on their own ability. It's like a direct flight or, a flight with layover in between. Whatever you want, you choose. This fourth stage is sannyasa. When one is not attracted to external glamour and is interested and focused on self-knowledge and liberation. This lifestyle is entirely different from family lifestyle. One who is in a family, primary responsibility is to earn. They must earn and take care of share with other family members. But a sannyasi is prohibited, should not make money, is prohibited from earning. Kanchi Sankaracharya, he lived 2 weeks short, I think 2 weeks short of 100 years. And he never touched the bill, currency. He never touched it. And somebody offers something in the plate, he'll say, just wait. And somebody will ask, he'll say, give it to that person. Direct. So he never touched it. He never accepted it. So they are supposed to survive on bhiksha. Bhavati bhiksham dehi, that means I take what you give. I'm not going to ask. That is conquering the ego. It is very difficult to ask help. So that is conquering one's own ego, accepting generosity or charity from others. As what they give, you take it. Living with family and secluded lifestyle, that lifestyle itself cannot go together. One is not better than the other, but duties of both are entirely different. In sannyasa ashrama, duties are to listen, contemplate, question, clarify, clear your doubts, get convinced, and stay firm in that conviction. Say a young person is drawn to spiritual texts, listens to talks, and is drawn to self-inquiry. And that young person whose mental attitude and aptitude is towards self-knowledge, such an individual seeks a guru, studies scriptures. For this, he needs non-attachment, which is dispassion, vairagya. This should not be construed or confused with indifference. Indifference is, I don't care what happens. This one is, I will help when needed, but I'm not completely attached. I step back. I will help and step back. It's like something naturally not interested. Some people are not naturally not interested in sweets or chocolates, whereas a diabetic restrains oneself from eating chocolate. One is a natural inclination, the next one is restraining oneself. So without this dispassion, one cannot enter stage 4, which is sannyasa. With a strong desire to know the self and a strong dispassion to the worldly glamour, one takes a sannyasa lifestyle, which is secluded lifestyle. Such an individual is not self-realized, but is serious to take that path. And that path is called Vividisha Sanyasa. Vividisha means curious to know. He has not acquired the self-knowledge, but he is aiming for it. He is in the process, work in progress, may have weaknesses, but he is drawn to inquiry. Scriptures define certain duties to such an individual. That is from going from brahmachari to sannyasa, because he is inclined to know, curious. Prayer, meditation, service to Guru purifies his mind without likes and dislikes, strengthens his dispassion. He learns from Guru, realizes the self, and then gets liberated. The second type of sannyasa is that is secluded lifestyle, is when a person leads a family life. After all the experiences of pain and pleasure, after years of life experiences, he develops an interest towards existence of life, inquiry, tries to understand the universal presence that is present in the body. But he is unable to leave the family due to situations. His mind is pure without likes and dislikes. He is even-minded, learns and understands self-knowledge. There is no need to leave everything and seek a secluded ascetic lifestyle to learn self-knowledge. There is no rule or restriction that it is only for men or only for certain group of people in the community. Absolutely, there are no restrictions as far as our scriptures are concerned. Anyone in the universe can pursue this path. Whoever has dispassion and the curiosity to know the truth is eligible to realize the truth. This individual seeks a guru, learns from the guru, understands by listening, contemplates, get convinced, and he can still be in a family environment, or if a condition arises that no one is around him as a dependent, as any responsibility, he chooses ascetic lifestyle. This is after gaining the self-knowledge. Such a lifestyle is referred as Vidvat Sanyasa. Vividisa Sanyasa is to gain knowledge and realize the self. Vidvat Sanyasa is ascetic lifestyle after gaining the self-knowledge. Adi Shankara took ascetic lifestyle at the age of 8 to realize the self. He is an example of Vividisha Sanyasa. He then studied under his guru Govinda Bhagavad Pada. A rishi named Yajnavalkya, who was the guru of Janaka, Sita's father. He wanted to leave the entire wealth to his 2 wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani. And Maitreyi also, she asked, can I get what you are leaving and going to get something, to attain something? Can I get that also with this? He said, no. No worldly things can take you to that self-knowledge. So she said, I want to learn that. I'm not interested in that. And then he became a guru for her, taught her, and then he took a ascetic lifestyle. That is, this comes in Brihadaranya Upanishad. And that reminds me of the book that I read, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He was a big lawyer in America, and his one day's suit was $3,000, and he had a big Ferrari car, very, very rich, he left everything and went to India to learn about this. So both Vibhidisha Sanyasa and Vidvat Sanyasa both are lifestyles. Now that there is a third meaning to sannyasa, which is not generally known to the general public, but scriptures emphasizes on this. This is referred as Jnana Karma Sannyasa and is also the title of chapter 4. That is seeing the action in inaction, seeing inaction in action. In this context, sannyasa renunciation does not mean lifestyle but the mental attitude. Karma sannyasa is renunciation of all actions. Jnana karma sannyasa is renouncing one's own, the ownership of actions. Renunciations are of two types. One is the family lifestyle, another one is knowledge. The renunciation with knowledge. Oftentimes we claim that I did this, I did that, I got him a job, I got her married, I got promoted, I was this, I did my homework, all because I'm smart, I worked hard, all those things. Once we gain this knowledge, we realize that I am akarta. I am the witness. I do not perform any action. All actions are performed by this body, mind, and intellect equipment. This is not a lifestyle, this is an attitude. Scriptures call a person with this attitude a jnani. This is the state of mind that needs to be, whether one is a hermit or a householder. If a hermit has not reached this mindset, he is still bonded and not liberated. Jnana Karma Sannyasa attitude is, I am that supreme presence, the witness of all drama activities around you. Whether one is a hermit or in a family still. Step back and observe yourself and be that everything is happening around me, I am the witness, and nothing should affect you as individual, the Atman. If it affects, that means there is an ego. This Jnana Karma Sannyasa mindset, attitude is in all Vibhidisha Sannyasa, Vidvat Sannyasa, and third one also. It's in all. Now Arjuna's question is, you are praising sannyasa and asking me to do my duty. Krishna did not refer to the lifestyle, but he referred to the mindset, jnana karma sannyasa. And Arjuna could not recognize that. He meant the third meaning, the mindset. Once you are able to observe and realize that the inert body, mind, and intellect is the acting and performing all activities, and I am the witness, that knowledge is seeing inactivity in activity. Whether one is family style or hermit, such a person is released from all bondages and is free and liberated. Both family lifestyle and secluded lifestyles are but stepping stones for self-realization. One is not better than the other. When a Vibhidisha sannyasi takes up his lifestyle and has not attained self-knowledge, he will not get the benefit of being a hermit. One can take the lifestyle, go away from family, be a sannyasi with changing. But if the mindset is not ready, if the mind is not ready, then he cannot attain the benefit of being as a sannyasi, as a hermit. For a common individual like you and me, Krishna suggests karma yoga. One who has desires, one who does not have high dispassion, one is in a family with responsibilities. He says it's not wise to leave everything and take up the secluded lifestyle when one is not intellectually ready. Therefore, it is better to be in a family, society, do your duty, and get the self-knowledge. Only one who has no likes and dislikes, meaning accepting everything as is, equanimous to all situations in life, alone can lead a life of hermit, sannyasi. Why? Because in life, you don't always get what you want. One needs to be able to accept what comes in our way. Is the mindset that is required. That is dispassion, that is vairagyam, that is not easy. Therefore, Krishna says, Karma Yoga is the best sadhana for general public. Verse 4 and 5, when an individual takes up an ascetic lifestyle, the scriptures have prescribed duties to them. Serving the Guru, meditation, control of senses, control of mind, single-pointed focus. An individual living in a society also has 5 yajnas. Both gets the same outcome as long as they perform their duties. One can live like Yagyavakya or Janaka, depending on individual situations. The ultimate goal is Jnana Karma Sanyasa. So both lifestyles give the same benefit, even though they appear to be vastly different for a ignorant. Dissolve the ego. Chapter 5, verse 4, he says, dissolve the ego or possessiveness by being even-minded to sorrow, happiness, desire, dispassion, life, and death, and yet live gloriously. Be free from desires, free from grief and happiness. Be equal-minded to life and death. Death is an incident, it is an event, it is an occurrence. We see that all the time. In Prashna Upanishad, the Yamadharmaraja was asking Yudhishthira, what is one wonder in this world? People see death every day, but they think they are going to live forever. That is the answer response. Death is inevitable. It can happen to, it will happen to everyone. But we have to accept that, expect that, accept that, and then when some family member, something happens. But it doesn't mean that when somebody is grieving, we have to go and talk about Vedanta. Because they are not emotional, they are emotionally down. At that time, you don't talk about this. So be free from, yes.
So is the case with the daily deep sleep.
Yes, that is Nitya Pralaya, they call it.
In fact, it is also a death because there is no body and mind.
Exactly. But that is also called as joyless joy, because you feel happy in the morning. Oh, I had a good night's sleep. But at that time also, there was a witness seeing that the jiva is sleeping. The mind is not acting. The senses are not acting.
Yes.
So death is shedding this body. That's all. So be equal-minded to life and death. When one is beyond plurality, the mind has said to have attained dissolution. Meaning for such a person, all pairs of opposites have lost their relevances, as well as the power to cause discomfort and agitation. Right? Now, we are just reviewing 1 to 5. Sanyasa, renunciation in ordinary term is secluded lifestyle. This is very different from family lifestyle. This secluded lifestyle is of 2 types. One is to get knowledge, which is Vividisha Sanyasa. After getting knowledge is Vidvat Sanyasa. The next meaning, the third meaning is not a lifestyle. It is a mental attitude, which is Jnana Karma Sanyasa. Mere lifestyle will not liberate an individual from the bondages. One should be liberated in the mind. We should renounce the ownership of all actions and attachments towards the results of actions. First 2 are lifestyles. The third one is mental renunciation. Both paths lead to liberation. One is not better than the other. Renunciation is not merely change of clothes or being in a secluded lifestyle place or how one appears, but it is a mindset of equanimous attitude towards all. Krishna says, whatever is best for you, you choose. Either way, as long as you are not bound, to any results of actions, you are okay. He further adds, it is not easy for every human being to be like that, to get that attitude, because human beings are always in Rajoguna, always active, physically or mentally. Humans cannot sit still for 1 hour. We can work continuously for 10 hours or 12 hours, non-stop, and then you are exhausted, sleep. But you cannot sit quietly, calmly for 1 hour. So that's a challenge. Now, verse 7, he emphasizes karma yoga and says, in each and every activity, be aware. I am not the doer. I am the observer of the activities done by this body mind. Keep thinking about it during any activity, anything that you perform. Again, he re-emphasizes the same thing in verse 10 to 12. Renunciation is not just changing clothes or leaving the family, societal environment, or living a secluded life. It is the equanimous mindset to all beings and situations. How do I know if I am ready for such a state? One should not have anyone to complain about or anything to whine about. There should not be anyone to like or dislike. The individual is metaphorically compared here to a lotus leaf. A lotus leaf, they do not float, they emerge above the surface of water. It does not sink either. It is not affected by the water. But if you take it out, it would die. Any other leaf, we put it in water, it will sink down. So also the jnani is above that plurality, he is above the water in this world, and he is part of the world, yet apart from it. That is what we have to practice at home. That is why even in a family, we have to step back. When the youngsters, daughter and son-in-law, son and daughter-in-law, they are running their show, let them run. You just help when needed and step back. That way we can focus on these things. A jnani is not caught by the ups and downs of life. But if one tries to come out of the world and be a sannyasi when they are not ready, they cannot handle that lifestyle as well. And often that leads to death. That's why people choose suicide, because it is easier. A human being always wants easy way out. It is very difficult to manage the desires, passion, and fascination. So we interact with the world using 3 tools, manasa, kayika, vachika, that is thought, word, and deed. That's how the Atman interacts with the world. That's how individuals get, the jiva gets the papa and punya, consequences of actions, the pain and pleasure. The intention counts. Say if there is a surgeon and the surgeon is doing a surgery, and when the surgeon is doing the surgery, the patient dies on the table. Whereas a robber goes and robs a person and kills the person to rob everything. The intention behind is different. Therefore, the consequences are also different. The surgeon gets punya and the robber gets papa. In fact, both have died. There were 2 physical deaths. So it is wise to operate in this universe with without a selfish attitude, selfless attitude, with a selfless attitude, and one will be liberated. This attitude initially leads to purification of the mind without likes and dislikes. Remember, we are all co-passengers. We own nothing in this universe. We come naked, we go naked. We can boast about how much bank balance I have, what power I have, what position I have, but we own nothing, but we enjoy everything. Those who operate with bias, with likes and dislikes, without equanimous mindset, are caught in the cycle of birth and death, samsara. Sara is the essence, juice. It's a life without essence. Because it's just a play. Every pain has got a pleasure, every pleasure has a pain, due to the intense attachment with the temporary ephemeral things. Verse 13, how does a jnani, jnana karma sannyasi, live in this transactional world like a lotus leaf? A hermit, a sannyasi, has renounced all actions and is focused on staying grounded in self-knowledge. Whereas a jnana karma sannyasi who lives in a family, in a society, operates with the constant thought, word, and deed, with the knowledge that or awareness that I am not the doer. Everything is getting done through this body because of the presence of Atman. He has his senses and mind in his control. We need to watch and manage our own senses and mind instead of focusing on controlling others with our power, position, and wealth. It's not easy for an ignorant who has not understood this real nature. Such an individual, jnana karma sannyasi, who operates without expecting anything in return, knowing who one is happy and contented in the location of with 9 gates. A human body has got 9 holes. That's a symbolism of flute. A flute has to have 9 holes. I am the hollow tube with 9 holes. This is the hollow tube with the 9 holes. His music flows through you, through this equipment. A common man associates himself with this body. I am Vijaya, so and so. I am so and so's parent, so and so's spouse, so and so's daughter. And this position or whatever. But whereas a jnani sees this body as a place where he resides, this is like a home, house. He resides. That's why this body is a temple of God. He is a witness of this body and the world around, unperturbed by any situation. Generally, we human beings keep performing actions as long as we are physically able. At one point in life, at one point in time, when we are physically unable, we can see around, the older we get and physically we are not able to do it, people tend to instruct others to do it. I suggest you do this way, do that way. Krishna says, don't do that. Everyone is adults. They can think with the given situation, they will do what they think is right. You don't have to keep instructing what to do, what not to do, including grown-up children. Do not get involved, entangled in unnecessary tasks. The yogi sees everything as a play and is contented. The more we get involved, the more there are conflicts. Then there are more mental stress. Just leave them alone. Let them do their thing. If you need help, you ask. If they need help, help. That's it. Verse 14, who is doing all actions if Atma is not doing? Some say Atma is triggering others to do, initiating others to do, but Atma is akarta, neither does nor triggers others to do. All actions happen in nature due to 3 gunas, that is sattva, rajas, and tamas. Just like all the energies around us, electricity, magnetism, gravity, 5 elements, all these things are because of the 3 gunas. Verse 15, can I take someone else's sin? Or can I give mine to somebody else? Or will Lord take it if I offer my sins to Lord? God does not take or give the jiva the consequences of karmas because of ignorance, not knowing who I am. Every jiva, every individual is responsible for the consequences of their own actions. Their own actions here refers to thought, word, and deed. Every thought that we have has a consequence. Every word we utter has a consequence. Every action we do has a consequence, and we have to bear them. Because of not knowing the self, jivas are caught in this samsara, whirlpool of birth and death. Therefore, listen to the scriptures, contemplate, and get convinced and stay grounded on that knowledge. Verse 18 is important. How does such a jnani who is grounded remains as a witness to all activities around him? How does he interact? How does he behave? Verse 18 says, from the one who has studied scriptures and with very humble, from that person to a cow to an elephant, to a dog eater, to all beings. He is equanimous. When he says dog eater, we can take it as meat eater. It doesn't matter. Anyone and everyone, whether it is an animal or a being or a human or anyone, without any discrimination. He sees no difference. Analysis versus synthesis. We classify everything, whereas he synchronizes everything. That's the difference between ignorant and a jnani. The differences are at the body-mind plane. The one presence, that is the substratum in all beings, including the highly educated, learned scripture, person who has studied scriptures for years and humble, not arrogant. That's the difference. One might have studied a lot and very humble. From that person to the same Atman from in that person is the same in a dog and a dog eater and an elephant and an ant. So the sun shines in a holy river and sun shines in a stagnant water on the street. The sun is not affected. It does not become holy because it is reflecting on a Nile river or Ganges river, and it doesn't become dirty or unholy by reflecting on the stagnant water. We have studied in Atma Bodha, a street light is not affected, whether it is a wedding procession or a funeral procession. Same thing, jnani is not affected. Verse 20, even though a jnani lives in this world and is not affected by situations or people's behavior, this jnani is not easy. This attitude of a jnani is not easy for a common person. Only with regular, consistent practice, one can evolve to this state gradually. Whether one is in a society or secluded lifestyle, one can attain liberation with this mindset. The reason for all human suffering is not knowing the true self. Who am I? Verse 21 to 23, Krishna emphasizes vairagya, which is dispassion, not indifference. To experience this state of contentment, whatever one experiences through 5 senses needs to be sacrificed, because all experiences have duality, opposites, plurality. Every pleasure has pain. We can have 2 scoops of ice cream or 5 scoops of ice cream. We will have the consequence. We can have 1 slice of pizza or 5 slices of pizza. We will have the consequence. Same thing with alcohol. Same thing with watching TV. Anything. Moderation is the key. They give temporary pleasures, but those are the root cause of sorrows and sufferings. Pain is physical and it can be mitigated by medicine, whereas sorrow is mental. And the medicine for sorrow is self-knowledge. That is the medicine. Verse 23, all our senses draw us to objects. It is important not to fall into cravings. There's a Zen story that a young and an old monk were crossing a river. A young woman also wanted to cross the river, but it was a lot of water. She was not sure to cross. So the older monk carried her and placed her on his shoulders and walked across the river. The young monk could not believe that what had happened. They both started walking 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. The young monk had that thought in his mind. He couldn't contain himself. After 6 hours, he says, as monks, we are not supposed to have women around us, or even, how did he even touch that woman? The older monk looked at him, smiled, and replied, brother, I sat her down about 6 hours ago. You are still carrying her, even after 6 hours. The idea is don't carry the past. Everything is an event. And how you see it is important, right? That is what you carry over. So chapter 5 is all about sannyasa, renunciation. The greater stress is on dispassion, which is vairagya. Without this attitude, any volume of scriptural study one does, any number of years one studies, will not help that person to renounce and be a yogi. A jnana karma sannyasa yogi, whether from a family lifestyle or from a secluded lifestyle, is happy and contented until sheds the body. And at that time, a jnani is not reborn. That is referred to as Brahma Nirvana. Now, verse 24 to 29 is an introduction to the chapter 6. So, Dhyana Yoga, meditation. What is meditation is the next chapter. So, we will go from here. Now, I'll just share the PowerPoint presentation to you, so that way you can see what we discussed. Let me share the screen. This is family lifestyle. One can be in a family lifestyle and still have that mindset that I am not the doer, everything is getting done. I am serving the family members. And this is sannyasa, which is a secluded lifestyle. These two are secluded lifestyles. I mean, different lifestyle, two different lifestyles. That's what he is talking. This is sannyasa lifestyle, this is family lifestyle. And 4 stages of life is brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. And out of the sannyasa has got 2 lifestyles. One is vividisha sannyasa, curious to know, vidvat sannyasa, self-realized. This one renounces everything to learn knowledge. That is stage 1 to stage 4. That is brahmacharya to sannyasa. That is Shankaracharya is the example. And vidvat sannyasa is the one who is realized and renounced. He has gone from brahmacharya to grahastha to vanaprastha to sannyasa. That is sage Yajñavakya. Third type of sannyasa is the attitude in the mind.
Can you go to last slide? How do you differentiate 1 to 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4?
This one goes from brahmacharya to sannyasa direct, with skipping the grahastha and vanaprastha. Okay. And that one goes through all the 4 stages. He is.
Okay. As I understand, he is self-realized. I thought he is the directly 1 to 4.
No. One is going to, one is a student to get to know about it, and so he is taking the sannyasa lifestyle.
Yes.
The other one is in the family, like all of us. Studies, goes through that and understands it, realizes, and then there is nobody that needs to be with the family situation allows us to take that lifestyle. At that point, one person becomes a sannyasa. Sannyasi takes the sannyasi lifestyle after doing all the duties, all the karmas. So karma yoga to jnana yoga is the best path. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now the third step of sannyasa is the attitude in the mind. The ego plays a big thing in our relationships. So it affects all relationships. When we say, I like this, I like that, I am right, you are wrong, we are all human beings. We are all co-passengers. When we travel in a plane or a train, how we interact with other people, that's exactly how we need to interact with even family members. I am not the doer. Everything is getting done through this body and mind equipment. I am the witness, is the self-knowledge. So that's why here, don't let your ego control your life. Shankaracharya and his guru Gaudapada. And Maitreya and Katyayani are two wives of Yajnavalkya. So who is renunciation? Sanyasa, this is two different sannyasa lifestyle. This is the actual sannyasa attitude. This is lotus leaf emerge above the surface of water. The lily leaf floats in the water. This is fully wet. This does not get soaking wet. So that's how we should be in the part of it, be a part of the world and yet apart from it. The sun shines in a river, in a holy river, sun shines in a puddle. The sun is not affected. The reflection is because of the presence of that sun. So also anything that the body, mind does, it's all because of the presence of Atman in life. This is the story. Learn to let go in life. Don't hold on to the past. Everything is an incident, event, occurrence, that's all. Do not hold to the past. Live in the present. Letting go is both art and science. I think this is the last one. So with that, I conclude today's lesson. So, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.